Okay, guys, so I'm going to teach you guys about acing text evidence questions. ACE is the way we teach you guys to answer all text evidence questions when we assign them in class after something we've read. And ACE stands for something, okay? So you can remember if you want to get an A on this assessment, you ACE the questions, all right? So A stands for answer the question. Answer the question. You do that by restating the question in your answer. So, for example, I may say, hey, what is your name? You restate that question by saying, my name is Mr. Mines. Okay? That's how you restate it. Use part of the question to start your first sentence. Okay? Then you answer the question in your own words. Okay? That's super important. Okay? Then you're going to cite text evidence, which means you're going to use examples from the text. We'll start practicing by just referencing parts of the book, but eventually you're going to include quotes that go with the text. But we're not going to do that just today, but we're going to get there eventually. Okay? And then you explain. Okay? So you answered the question, you provided examples from the text, and then you're going to explain how that text evidence or that quote supports your answer. Okay? Let's keep on going then. So here's an example of one that we're going to do in class today. Okay? Here's the question. In chapter 1, it says that Salva was letting his mind wander down the road ahead of his body. He begins to daydream about when he and his friend made cows out of clay. That should sound familiar to you from chapter 1. Here's the question. What does this daydream tell you about the importance of cattle in Salva's life? Okay, so you've got some background information, right? We've got this little bit of background information right here. And then we also have a question that goes with it. What does this daydream, the daydream about dreaming about making cows out of clay, what does that tell you about the importance of cattle in Salva's life? Okay, so here's how we ace this question. And there's the question again at the top, so you can reference it, just to remind you. And we got to do the A first, which is answer the question. And we do that by restating part of this question right here as a starting point for our answer. Okay? So notice our question says, what does this daydream tell you about the importance of cattle in Salva's life? I start out by saying, this daydream tells us the importance of cattle in Salva's life. Okay, you see how that's exactly from the question? Because cattle seem to be related to wealth or money. Notice, I don't say what the daydream tells us is that. I don't start my answer with a question word. I just start it as a sentence. This daydream tells us the importance of cattle in Salva's life because cattle seem to be related to wealth or money. Okay, let's keep on going because we got to do the C. That's not enough. All right. There's your question again. There's our A. Okay, and now here is our C. So how do we know that cattle seems to be related to wealth or money? So we got to cite text evidence. Okay, in the book, well, let me move myself for a second. In the book, we have a way to reference our answer. Okay, so here's the part of that extra answer I added. The book said that his father had a lot of cattle and his father was an important man. Okay, so I'm starting to make that inference for you in my answer. Let's keep on going. So you see how I referenced the book and said in a fact that came from the book. His father had a lot of cattle. True, that was in the book. And his father was an important man. True, that was in the book. Okay, let's look at our next one. There's our question again. Okay, again, there's our first part of the answer. There's our second part of the answer. They're the same thing. This daydream tells us the importance of cattle in Salva's life because cattle seem to be related to wealth or money. The book said that his father had a lot of cattle and his father was an important man. Now we got to explain it. How does this evidence right here show us that cattle seem to be related to wealth or money? Cattle are important because they can provide milk and food, which is essential for Salva and his family to thrive. Okay, so now I got to put all that together. Notice I have three individual sentences that are part of one answer. So gone are the days of you answering questions in couple words. We are looking for 3 sentences when you answer these. As you get better at it, you'll be able to get them down to maybe 1 or 2 sentences, but for now we want them in 3s. Okay? So here is our question again, and here's the full answer, all written in a paragraph. This daydream tells us that the cattle are very important in Salva's life and seem to be related to wealth or money. The book said that his father had a lot of cattle and his father was an important man. Cattle are important because they can provide milk and food, which is essential for Salva and his family to thrive. That's 3 sentences put together in kind of a short paragraph. That's what we expect when we ask you to ace a question. So you'll get comfortable throughout the year doing this, and we'll continue to work on it. But if you see the word ace this question, now you know what to do. And we'll continue to reference this throughout the all year when we do text-dependent questions.